What up squad, it's your boy K-Flow. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to install a winch and a badass ARB steel bumper on your Toyota Tacoma. Let's get this thing started. This video was brought to you by K-Flow's Crib, your #1 resource for Tacoma DIY projects. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that bell too so you're up to date with my latest video releases. For those of you who are new to my channel, the purpose of my channel is to teach you skills so that you can fix and upgrade your Tacoma all by yourself. And I just want to say, I hope you guys are all well in our current health situation. Hope you guys are all staying home and doing your best to tinker away at your Tacoma and make it more badass. Before we get to the truck, I just want to give a quick shout out to one of my subscribers, Nick G. Thank you for the very generous beer donation to my channel. And what we are drinking today is from Cape May Brewing Company. It's called Ties the Room Together White Cream Stout. To give you guys a little bit of background, this is what Nick G said on his donation to my channel. Hey man, I wanted to send a huge thank you for putting together the video series on the Tacoma clutch replacement. It made the job so much easier. I probably watched each video 4 to 5 times and ended up transcribing the entire series into a 10-page word checklist for use in the garage, which I'd be happy to send your way if you think your viewers would find it useful. Shoot me an email. The videos are high quality and I can only imagine how long it took to film all that on top of doing the job. Bravo, Nick G. So here's that Word document that Nick sent me, guys. And this thing is very thorough. I'll be sharing this on my website, so make sure you check that out. Go to www.kflow-crib.com. And just like Nick, if you wanted to donate beer to my channel, go to the top header of my channel page and click on Donate Beer. So let's crack one of these bad boys open. Cheers, Nick. Thanks again, man. Man, I love a good stout. Oh, look at this. This is actually by 2 different brewing companies. By Cape May Brewing Company and Left Hand Brewing Company. Check that out. Now let's get to the truck. So here's what our current stock bumper looks like. Wow, so stock, so normal, and so boring. So we lift the hood. Then we remove the 2 10mm screws and the plastic clip using a pry tool. We should then be able to remove the grill by lifting it up and out. Now we have access to the upper portion of the bumper and we remove the 3 plastic clips that hold that in place. From the top, we can see that the fog lights are still clipped in, so we make sure we unhook those as well. Those harnesses come off by undoing the blue cover first. Then the black clip can be pried up and those harnesses can then be removed completely. Now we go around the bottom of the bumper. We undo all the hardware holding that bottom lip. We go around the wheel well side and undo those as well. Once we undo all of the hardware, carefully and slowly pry off the bumper to make sure that none of the hardware are still mounted. And then we can take off the bumper on one side, then go around to the opposite side and take it off completely. Here's what the front end looks like without a bumper. Reminds me of the Terminator when he got his face melted off. Now we can remove these 3 nuts on each side of the aluminum crossbeam. We use a 14mm ratcheting wrench to undo these. Here's a quick pro tip, guys. The inside nut was really tight, so I used 2 wrenches, linked them together in order to get better leverage to take off that nut. removing that aluminum crossbeam was pretty difficult. It was pretty seized on there, so I first started with a cold chisel in between to pry it up slightly. And then I hit all the areas with as much PB blaster as I can. Eventually, I was able to work the cold chisel all the way around until I was able to get a pry bar in between and push that bracket out completely. Now that we have this front end completely exposed, I did brush off as much of the rust as possible. Then I took some fluid film and treated that area with anti-corrosion compound. I do live in the Northeast, and the road salts here are as harsh as my Asian parents.
Your fingers, no bleeding. You no try hard enough. You want me press iron on your back again?
I'm trying.
Try harder. Play better.
Is somebody making a Cuban sandwich?
Now, we take a 10mm socket and remove the plastic bracket on the fenders as you see here. We can take some painter's tape and mask off the upper area. Next, we take some acetone on a microfiber rag and clean up as much of that area as possible. Next, we take a primer and paint combination and lay down about 3 coats in that area. We take a 17mm socket and remove the end bracket here. We do the same thing on the opposite side, as well as the toe point for now. We can take our main supporting bracket for the ARB bumper and mount it onto the studs. We use the original 14mm nuts to mount that bracket onto the truck. Only mount the outside nuts using the original nuts. You'll see why later in this video. I did make sure to hit those hardware with fluid film to prevent future corrosion. These items and the other items that I use in this channel are on my Amazon storefront, so make sure you check that out at amazon.kflow-crib.com. From here on in, you will need to get the hardware out of the bag of random ass unlabeled hardware, and you won't know the sizes. So here's a quick pro tip for you guys. Get yourself a thread checker like this one to save yourself the headache by going through all of the hardware first and organizing the stuff beforehand. We hit that inner stud with some fluid film and mount the washer, lock wash, and nut. This nut is an M10 by 1.25. Tighten that down and also cover it with fluid film. Now, at the bottom section of the main bracket, we use a large flat washer, lock washer, bolt, and nut. The specific size is M12 by 1.25 fine thread. We use a 17mm socket to tighten down those hardware. We also finish it off with some fluid film. At the upper portion of the bracket connected to the frame, we also use an M12 by 1.25 nut, bolt, and washer, and lock washers. Just a quick note guys, for the bottom we use the larger M12 gold washer in the set. These hardware are then tightened down with a 17mm socket and hit with some more fluid film. Now here's what the installation looks like thus far. We'll have to pop out this plastic cover here and on the opposite side to mount this bracket as you see here. This is actually pretty easy to install. The rear bolt is the 4.5-inch long M12. You'll also need 2 large gold washers and a nylock nut. These are tightened down to 30 foot-pounds. The 2 front hardware are M10, bolt, washer, lock washer, and nut. These M10s are tightened down to 30 foot-pounds. You can also tighten down the rest of the hardware that was installed to 32 foot-pounds as well. We take our inner wheel well liner and zip tie that down to the upper bracket as you see here, and then snip off any of the excess.
So that's pretty much it for this video guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you stay tuned for part 2, which I will be releasing next week. So if you guys like the content creation of this channel, please consider supporting my channel by either donating to my beer fund, or you can be a Patreon patron, or at the least just hit that like and subscribe button for me. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.